Hey everyone. In the last article and video I put together, we took a deep dive into club face angle at the top of the backswing and tried to figure out what square is. And I make the claim that a square club face at the top is right around 40 degrees as measured from down the line. And while I'm doing the research for that previous article, I looked at quite a few Tiger Woods swings and saw just an extraordinary amount of variance in his face angle through the years, and wanted to do a separate video and article to discuss just this. So to kind of give you a highlight of what we're going to look at, we're going to start here with two 3-wood swings. On the right, you're going to see Tiger at the 2008 U.S. Open that he won with a broken leg. And if we take this swing to the top, this is, remember, 2004 to 2010 are the Haney years, if you're familiar with Tiger's coaching history. Here he is at the top. So I'm going to say this one's set a little bit open, about 46 degrees, 45 degrees. You see quite a few measurements during the Haney years over 40. And this was not uncommon, as Haney was trying to encourage Tiger to have a one-way miss. He was definitely successful in that, and that he missed it right more often than he did left. The swing on the left here is actually a video I took myself at a practice round at the 2013 Masters. The quality isn't great, as the camera was not perfect, but we do get a good look at his swing and his set position at the top. Let me pull it up there. Back one more frame. Now, before I pull in the angle measurement, you can see right away that this is holy shit different. If we measure it, this is going to measure around 25 degrees, and the Foley swings do this. They were in the low to mid 20s, and if you think about a difference in face angle of nearly 20 degrees from one coach to the next, and a change that he made just between 2010 and 2011, if you really dig into it, it's crazy to think about. And as I looked at more and more swings, what we're actually going to find is that Tiger did this routinely. Every single time he switched coaches, he made a big change to his face angle. So let's go ahead and go back to when we all met Tiger in the 1997 Masters. So here we have Tiger at the 1997 Masters. Looks like he's on the 11th hole here, hitting, I'm guessing this is a little-headed steel-shafted driver from back in the day that he was pounding on. If we take this swing all the way up to the top, we can get some insight into his, pre-Big Butch changes swings. Like a lot of young guys that were thin, Tiger played with a shut face in his youth, and you can see, if you look at a lot of swings from 93 to 97, you're going to see very similar angles to this, again in the low 20s. And as the story goes, after winning the Masters by a million, Tiger watched the video of his performance and decided that he didn't like his swing. You can see he's quite a bit across the line here, given the length of that backswing, and he decided to make some big changes. So let's see what happens after a few years of him and Butch working at it. I think that most reasonable golf fans would agree that 2000 was Tiger's best year, and potentially the best golf any humans ever played competitively. And if we look at his driver swing here on the right and an iron swing on the left, we see quite a change from those 1997 swings. Could pull that in, show that his face is right around 35. And on the right with the iron, if we get him up to the top or near the top, you will see something very similar. If I can get the video in the right spot, there we go. Pull that in. So here he is, as close as he's ever been to 40 degrees in his professional career. His professional career in 2000. But despite the fantastic golf he plays in 2000, 2001, and 2002, things start to go awry. He has a knee surgery, one of many, and things aren't going that well with Butch, and he decides to bring in Haney, and Haney wants to make some big changes to Tiger's swing. Let's take a look and see what he did. So on the left here, I've pulled in a swing from 2010. This is post-fire hydrant, and I believe after Haney has been let go, but I don't remember it. He finished tied for 4th this year at Pebble Beach, and I believe sprayed it all over the place. If we take this swing to the top, you'll see a lot of what the Haney swing looked like. It was very, very flat on the way back. You can measure that shaft angle there. And as he gets it to the top, you see it's laid off quite a bit. And boy, is that face quite a bit open. That's a huge difference between 2000 and 2010. And this is probably a good time to, add a little bit of context to, what is going to be a short video and a fairly complex topic. In looking at all of these swings, there was a lot of details that I'm just not going to be able to cover fully that would be really nice to have added. So while he has the shut face in 97 and it's more square in 2000 and it gets more open with Haney, and I've shown you that with Foley it gets back shut again, and we'll see what happens with Como in his current swing. There's a lot of stuff going on in between, and Tiger hooks up with Haney in 2004, but he doesn't really get to this position here until 2005, 2006 even, and you can see some swings in 2005 where the face is pretty square. It's important to note that as the relationship with Butch was ending, he gets the club face pretty close. It gets more, gets less lofted than 35 degrees as we see here on the right. One of the craziest aberrations I discovered was that even in the same golf tournament, you can find swings with irons where he'll have a very different look at the top. You can see a bowed wrist and an open face. You can see a cupped wrist with a square face, and I'm sure all of these things can be explained by the fact that Tiger's trying to work the ball and do different stuff with it. Sometimes golfers get distracted. Sometimes his iron swings have different thoughts, but it's important to note that this is not meant as an absolute. Tiger didn't always do one thing, and there was certainly a number of variances in between, and I wish I could go into greater detail, but honestly I'm probably the only one that's that interested in it. So that said, after Haney's time, Tiger, boy, goes into Foley, and we've seen already he goes from this position at 46 all the way down into the low 20s, and we won't spend a lot of time here on the Foley swing, and if you'd like to read more about it, please check out the article associated with the video. But it didn't take long, even though Tiger has a decent year in 2013 by his standards under Foley. He gets rid of Foley, hires Chris Como, and starts immediately moving his swing back to a more similar action to what he's done back in 2000. Let's take a look at some of those swings. So on the left, this is actually a practice round swing, I believe, from the only tournament he played on the PGA Tour in 2017, up at the Farmers. This is an iron off the tee, I believe. If we pull in the angle measurement, you're going to get pretty close to 42, which, if you remember from the last video, that is where Rory is consistently setting it, and one of my favorite angles to see based on all the ones I've studied. The swing on the right is actually a driver swing that he posted on Twitter yesterday. He had a practice round down in the Bahamas as he's getting ready for the Hero World Challenge this week. And if we take a measurement of this, and this one falls closely in line with the previous driver swing he posted on Twitter. It was right around 33, 34 degrees. And another iron he's posted on Twitter, I had measured around 40 recently. So you see he's getting closer back to his 2000 face angle. The right side is getting more load into it. The arm swing is getting more vertical. So it's nice to see him go back. And for the Tiger Woods fans out there, it's encouraging. The injuries have been tough, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, I do believe that if he stays healthy, for a 3 to 4 year stretch, he has a chance to be an elite golfer again. I'm sure nowhere near like he was, but a very good player. And to try to sum this all up, and tie together the face angle stuff, let me just say this. We know that Tiger played his best golf in 2 different 3-year stretches, from 2000 to 2002 and from 2005 to 2007. And we also know that during those 6 years, when he was setting the club at the top, his face angles were between 35 and 45 degrees virtually every time. And as I strongly believe, square is around 40, and we know that he played not his best golf with his face angles outside that range. I think it's reasonable to suggest we have at least a very weak correlation between his best golf and a face that runs close to square. I also suspect it's not that weak of a correlation, but trying to prove that would be quite a challenge. So when he plays this week, please pay attention when they show the slow-mo swings. Look at that face at the top, and hopefully we'll all see some good golf from Tiger. So if you are interested in having an online golf lesson, if you'd like your swing analyzed by me, please check out my website, accurateapproachgolf.com. New email subscribers do get a free video analysis. Thanks so much for watching.